Hello everyone. Yesterday I came across an idea. I was reading a book and this was an interesting idea that I actually came across, which is retire from work but not from life. This I think is the title of a book written by one M K VENU. That really should put things in perspective for all those people who are about to retire. One of the things that really happen to people who are about to retire is that it gives certain kind of anxiety to people as to what they are going to be doing in the time when they retire when they stop working from a formal employment, which they have been doing possibly for about 30-40 years before. For somebody who has had a steady employment in the same organization, in the same job for about 30 years, 40 years or so, this can actually come as a big shock. Retirement can come as a big shock. Why it happens? Because when you actually work, you are so attached to the work. You are almost, so to speak, wedded to the work for about 30 years or 40 years or whatever. Every morning 9 o'clock you are there, every evening 5 o'clock you get away from the office. So it becomes a kind of more than a second home. You go from, I have actually seen people who have not taken vacation or not taken leave continuously for years together. See, that it becomes a kind of addiction. Whether you like the office environment, you don't like it, or partially like it, or partially don't like it. You like it sometimes, other times you don't like, whatever. That office environment, it actually becomes a kind of second home or even much more than that. So, when you have to actually let it go, it's like actually going through a divorce process after marriage. You have lived with somebody for about 10 years, 50 years, then you have to go through the process of divorce. So how are you going to feel? It's a very similar emotions that you have here, except that the other entity, your office, is an inanimate object, so to speak. It's not a living being. So emotions are only from one side. So you find it extremely difficult to let go of that attachment that you have developed over the years for your office, your organization, your friends, your social circles within the office, all kinds of things. So when you have the realization that it is going to be inevitable for you to stop working, if you are not willing to stop working, you are going to be forced to stop working. The retirement, you have a formal age for retirement in most organizations. So that really poses some anxiety. That's totally perfectly understandable. But I have a feeling that it's absolutely unwarranted. One of the things that really happen when you actually work is that you have developed a kind of self-esteem. You have developed a kind of persona, a personality that is completely identified yourself as an employee in whatever position that you are in. Okay, the whole identity is not X, Y, or Z. The whole identity is what you are doing actually. Okay, now I'm actually a YouTuber. I'm making my presentation here, but my fundamental, most basic identity is not as a YouTuber. My basic identity is whatever my name is, which is Shankar Swaminathan. That's my identity. So when you work in an office for about 30 years, 40 years, whatever, so what happens is you lose your identity and replace it with another false identity. So your personality is not that, but you come to believe that you are that. For example, you take a police officer. For example, the police officer, usually wherever they are, whichever country they are, they have a kind of formal authority. That formal authority becomes part of yourself. So it becomes part of your identity. What is the fundamental shaping of your personality? That's something you completely forget. You are not conscious of that anymore. You have completely lost sight of that. And you have lost sight of your basic instincts that would arise that would spontaneously arise from time to time on the basis of your most natural personality that you are born with and that you are acquired over a lifetime of experiences. Okay, I'm not talking about the work experience here, but the work experience gives you another idea about yourself which is kind of misplaced. So you'll find it difficult to come out of that identity that you have acquired because of your work. So now when you actually work like that, you have developed a kind of self-esteem in life, you have developed the ego. So when you have to let go of all that at the time of retirement, you have to reconcile yourself to the present reality. The present reality is you don't really have the job, you don't have that kind of formal authority, you suddenly realize that you don't really have that identity, office identity, for example a police officer, and then now you find yourself kind of in a completely different mental makeup, psychological makeup, or whatever. I mean, this is completely new. This comes to you as completely new. This is completely unfamiliar. Now you face it, but that's the reality. How do you reconcile with that? That's a question now. Now, this book, this title that I actually came across yesterday, "Retire from Work but Not from Life," is something that I really like very much, because there is, when you take retirement as a concept, a real concept, there is actually no retirement in life. You always keep doing something or other. How you engage yourself with what you are doing is a different question. How do you actually apply yourself to what you are doing is a different thing. But you keep doing something or other. Okay? When you are not actually applying yourself completely to what you are doing, then you are not going to be so interested in what you are doing. You are just doing something mechanically. But when you really apply yourself to what you are doing, then you develop a kind of satisfaction, tremendous satisfaction, soul satisfaction, if I could use the term, psychological satisfaction. You don't feel the discontentment anymore. So when you actually retire in the post-retirement phase, when I'm actually saying retire here, I'm only referring to the formal retirement from your work, not from life. So in the post-retirement phase, there are a lot of activities that you can actually cultivate, imbibe, train yourself in. There were days about 50-60 years back when people who retire, they wouldn't know what to do. So all that they would do in the post-retirement stage is to gossip, engage in grapevine talk about somebody or other. Mostly it's idle, mostly it's not productive, mostly they are not constructive talk, none of them get satisfaction, but it's only a kind of time pass. So what happens in such a scenario is that they would still feel unfulfilled. So that is reason enough for such retirees to feel low, to lose their morale, even if they do not actually go into depression, which is even worse. But that also has happened in quite a few cases, post-retirement depression. That's a very common thing. That used to be a very common thing before. But today it's not so. Today, retirement from a formal job should be a blessing in disguise for anybody, because there is so much to learn, there is so much to know, there is so much to look around in the world. So all those things that you have actually missed doing in the 30 years or 40 years that you have been productively or otherwise engaged in a formal employment, that's something that you can completely look forward to doing now to fulfill all your unfulfilled desires. So that way I have had a kind of checkered career. To talk a little bit about myself, I started working in 1976, and I guess I would have been in more than 10-15 jobs, some of them for long periods, some very short periods, even as short as about 6 months or so, even less. Okay? So I had a variety of experience in life. I have actually found life to be very, very exciting that way. So this retirement is an idea that I have actually never brought myself to think about, even consider. The last job that I had was for about 10 years. Even then, I didn't really feel anything is permanent. Any moment I was prepared to jump into some other field, something else. Okay, but though the last one that I had a tremendous satisfaction doing it. So in the post-retirement stage, I am developing further on what I did in the last job. Anyway, my idea here to talk about the post-retirement phase is essentially, in brief, just talk about two ideas. What you can do today with all the scientific advancements and technological developments that have taken place, making almost everything available to you within the four walls of your bedroom, so to speak. This is my bedroom. incidentally. Okay, I have actually created a partition here. It's a bedroom beyond this, and you feel really very happy. And online you get everything. You can actually interact with the whole world through social media. I get comments, I reflect, I push back, and people push back, all kinds of things. Okay, so it's so satisfying. And then you are able to social need. Abraham Maslow, one of the great psychologists, management psychologist, industrial psychologist, he talked about social needs. A sense of belonging is one of the basic needs that every one of us need to have at every stage of our life. So the social needs is very easily fulfilled these days by interaction through social media. So what are the things that you can actually do through social media, through online, through internet, sitting inside the four walls of your home? One is learning. Learning, there is no limit to that. If you have the bent of mind to be a lifelong learner, there is so much that you can learn. And the more you learn, the more you feel very delighted with yourself, the more you feel happy with yourself, the more you feel satisfied with yourself, because you are learning new and newer concepts, things that you wouldn't have even contemplated learning about in all these years of your existence in this world. For example, you take me for example. I am very much interested in learning about astrology. That's all in the in my bucket list, in the pipeline. Okay, or I do want to learn. I'm going to do that. So similarly, I've got quite a few things in my mind that I really want to learn. Other than that, there are a lot of free courses available, offered by so many very well reputed universities like Yale, Harvard. No, it's also exciting to do such courses. Every one of those courses you can actually finish even within a month or 2 months or so, and every one course that you do adds to your knowledge and your possibly wisdom. Okay, information, knowledge, wisdom. You draw your own conclusions. You learn more about life. Learn more about what the world is. Okay, for example, the last course that I did was on a course titled Science of Well-Being. This was offered by Yale University. I found the course extremely exciting. I was myself surprised that I came across a lot of concepts in that course that I have never actually heard about in my life before. So that was really very interesting. So learning is one thing. If you are prepared to be a lifelong learner, you are not going to have enough time in your life for learning all that you want to learn. You have always wanted to learn. That's one thing. The other one is actually being of service to people. See, over life, you would have acquired a lot of acquired wisdom, knowledge, experience, resilience. So you can always see, what is it that people basically struggle with? People basically struggle with a lack of perspective on a variety of things, a lack of idea, lack of not knowing what they really want and where they really should be, what their objective should be. These are all some things that people basically struggle with. You can actually help them with all that. You can give your own insights. You can give them inputs. You can give them a bit of your acquired wisdom, as I say. So you can help people. That's going to be very satisfying. So service is not just helping people with your advice. You can be counseling people. You can be guiding them from time to time. You can be helping them to remove the knots that they find themselves in a given situation in life. You can go out and there are so many other variety of services that are available in the society, in the community. There are always people in some kind of want, not necessarily material wants. So you just go out, help them, provide your service to them. You feel really so satisfied. They feel so obliged to you. They feel so grateful to you. They appreciate what you are doing. That really helps to boost your self-esteem. Because one of the things that really happen in retirement is that you will basically lose your sense of self-worth. You lose your sense of self-esteem. That's something that you are going to regain now. So, with all that, and this is not all, and I got a lot more ideas to say, but I'm going to be stopping myself with this because I don't really want to. I don't want to overwhelm you guys, so I'm going to be stopping you with this. But there's just one more thing that I want to say. You can engage in, you can develop some hobbies that you would like. If you have some flair for singing, sing. There are so many social media groups that you can add. You can actually sing along with others. You can sing all by yourself. All of those things. That's an art which will again provide you with a lot of satisfaction. So finally reflect on this and provide me your feedback. say how if it makes sense to you or not, or if you think it's all complete nonsense, let me know about it. I wouldn't mind taking it from you. And do subscribe, do share, subscribe to my channel, and I do look forward to be in further touch with a lot more of such ideas that I keep getting from time to time. Take care, all the very best. God bless you all.